Hinds County Supervisor Tony Smith wants to postpone a hearing that could determine whether the results of the 2023 election should be thrown out. The attorney for his opponent, David Archie, is fighting back. Smith asked for the continuance Tuesday, saying he will be out of town on business, adding when the trial date was set, his attorney did not have sufficient time to clear the new date. Archie's attorney says the conference Smith is attending wraps up in time for him to be in court. Archie is suing Smith to overturn the results of the 2023 Democratic primary. Smith defeated Archie in his bid for re-election.